People visit their doctor with chronic fatigue, muscle pain, poor sleep, and a racing heart every day. Today, Chapter 2 of the 10 Japanese Superfoods. Kindly visit this channel for Chapter 1. Somewhere on a small island chain in southern Japan, a woman who has never visited a pharmacy, never swallowed a synthetic supplement, and never counted a single calorie is preparing the same breakfast her grandmother made. She is 97 years old, and she is not exceptional. On this island, she has neighbors. Western scientists flew here to crack the code of Japanese longevity. They kept arriving at the same answer. Not genetics, not luck, the food, the specific, ancient, carefully preserved food culture that the Japanese have maintained for centuries, while the rest of the world switched to processed everything and wondered why people kept getting sick faster, aging harder, and dying younger. Subscribe right now and ring the notification bell, because every week, Hidden Ancient Harvest goes deeper into the ancient food wisdom that modern science is only now beginning to fully measure. Welcome to Hidden Ancient Harvest, where ancient food philosophy meets modern scientific proof. Seriously, do not make the mistake of skipping this video, because if you do, you will miss the wildest secrets we are uncovering today. Food number 11, Soba/buckwheat, the noodle that protects microcirculation. Despite its name, buckwheat is not wheat. It is the seed of a plant related to rhubarb, cultivated in Japan since the 8th century. New Year's Eve in Japan is marked by eating toshi-koshi soba, year-crossing noodles, a tradition practiced for over 300 years. Buckwheat contains rutin, a bioflavonoid found in very few other dietary sources. Rutin strengthens capillary walls and supports the integrity of the vascular system at its finest level. The damage that accumulates over decades happens in microcirculation, the tiny vessels supplying the brain, kidneys, and eyes. A food that supports those vessels daily is doing maintenance work on the system that everything else depends on. The Japanese do not discard the starchy cooking water. They drink it warm, sobayu, as a final drink at the end of the meal. The rutin that dissolved into the cooking water is still valuable. Nothing is wasted. Everything counts. If you are still watching this video, drop a comment with "I am still here," and drop a comment what country you're watching from. Let us know who is truly paying attention. Food number 12, ginger, the anti-inflammatory constant. Go into any traditional Japanese kitchen and you will find ginger. Grated over tofu, sliced thin into pickled form alongside sushi, simmered into broths, steeped into winter tea, consumed at nearly every meal in some form, without the diner consciously registering it as a medicinal choice. Ginger's bioactive compounds, gingerols and shogales, inhibit the same inflammatory signaling pathways targeted by nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, without the gastrointestinal damage as a side effect. Chronic systemic inflammation is not merely an uncomfortable condition. It is the primary cellular driver of aging itself. Compounds that reduce it daily, gently, consistently, through food rather than pharmaceuticals, are doing the most important kind of work. Grate a small amount of fresh ginger over whatever you are eating. Do this every day. The practice is simple. The accumulation over a lifetime is profound. Food number 13, Umeboshi, the sour plum that samurai never traveled without. Samurai carried them. Monks ate them. Farmers packed them in field lunches for centuries. Ume, the intensely sour, salt-fermented Japanese plum, is not a casual food. It is medicine that became food that became national institution. The organic acids in umeboshi, citric, malic, and pyruvic acid, stimulate digestive enzyme production, support liver function, and improve the body's efficiency at converting lactic acid, the compound that accumulates in muscles during exertion and causes fatigue. Japanese workers and athletes have understood this for centuries. Eat umeboshi. Work longer. Recover faster. Umeboshi also have significant antimicrobial properties. The combination of salt, acidity, and polyphenol content creates conditions that inhibit pathogen growth. Their activity against H. pylori, the bacterium implicated in stomach ulcers and gastric cancer, has been specifically studied. 1 small plum with rice. Not a handful. 1. This is a food whose wisdom is entirely in the small amount. Food number 14, Kabocha squash, the winter squash that guards every barrier in your body. Kabocha is the dense, sweet Japanese pumpkin, a cross in flavor between chestnut and sweet potato. Its deep orange flesh signals a rich supply of beta-carotene, which the body converts to vitamin A. Vitamin A maintains the integrity of mucous membranes, the protective barriers lining your lungs, digestive tract, and sinuses. These are your first line of defense against pathogens. A deficiency does not produce dramatic immediate symptoms. It produces a slow, invisible erosion of defensive barriers that accumulates over years. The immune system becomes progressively more vulnerable without a single clear warning sign. The Japanese eat the skin, which concentrates additional nutrients. They simmer it in dashi and soy until it falls apart into soft golden pieces. Nothing wasted. Full nutritional benefit received. Food number 15, sesame seeds. The tiny seed with outsized density. Do not let their size mislead you. Sesame seeds carry remarkable mineral density, calcium, magnesium, iron, along with unique compounds called lignans, particularly sesame, studied for antioxidant effects and support for healthy cholesterol. Traditional Japanese diets historically used far less dairy than Western diets. The calcium need was met through accumulation. Seeds like sesame, calcium-set tofu, small fish with edible bones, and dark greens, all contributing smaller amounts that added up across the day. Whole sesame seeds can pass through the body partly undigested. Lightly toast and grind them. A spoonful of freshly ground sesame stirred into a dressing or scattered over rice turns an ordinary dish into something both deeply flavorful and quietly nourishing. No single food carries the whole calcium load. The accumulation does. Food number 16, konjac/konnyaku, the ancient fiber that fills you with almost nothing. Konjac has been eaten in Japan for over 1,500 years. Buddhist monks relied on it during long fasting periods. Sumo wrestlers used it for weight management. Neither group thought of it as health food. It was simply part of how Japanese people ate. Konjac is made almost entirely of water and glucomannan, one of the most viscous dietary fibers ever studied. Glucomannan absorbs water at an extraordinary rate, expanding into a thick gel that slows digestion, delays glucose absorption, and creates sustained fullness from very few calories. The FDA has approved a health claim for glucomannan in relation to blood glucose. Important safety note, because glucomannan swells dramatically with water, konjac must be cut into small pieces and chewed thoroughly. Never swallowed in large pieces. The gel also feeds specific beneficial bacteria in the colon that produce short-chain fatty acids, compounds that nourish the gut lining, reduce inflammation, and signal the brain about satiety. The gut-brain connection may be part of why populations eating high-fiber traditional diets consistently age better. Food number 17, adzuki beans, the longevity legume of celebration. In Japan, when something important happens, a birthday, a wedding, a coming of age, they make red rice, sekihan, colored and flavored by adzuki beans. The cultural understanding embedded in this practice is that this food belongs at moments of significance. Adzuki beans are extraordinarily high in fiber, among the highest of any legume. Their polyphenol content gives them potent antioxidant capacity. Their resistant starch feeds beneficial gut bacteria and produces the short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation and support the gut lining. Research shows adzuki consumption produces reduced post-meal glucose spikes compared to other carbohydrate sources, simmered in soups, cooked with rice, eaten in savory grain bowls. The bean is flexible across both sweet and savory contexts, which is part of why it has persisted so broadly in Japanese food culture for centuries. Food number 18, brown rice, the whole grain backbone. Long before polished white rice became fashionable, farming families across Japan ate their rice whole and brown. Brown rice keeps its bran and germ, holding on to fiber, B vitamins, magnesium, and beneficial plant compounds that white rice loses entirely during processing. That fiber slows digestion, steadies energy release, and feeds a healthier gut, all of which support cardiovascular and metabolic health across a lifetime. That it was once considered humble, poor people's food, while the wealthy ate gleaming white rice, until modern nutrition revealed its quiet value. Soak it for several hours before cooking. This softens the grain and improves texture significantly. Or mix it with white rice at first. increasing the proportion gradually as your palate adjusts. The real power is not in a single bowl. It is in the same slightly better bowl, repeated every day for decades. We are approaching the final two foods, and the last one contains the most powerful antioxidant ever measured by science. Do not leave yet. And if this video is building something in you, a different relationship with food, with time, with what your body actually needs, subscribe to Hidden Ancient Harvest right now. Food number 19, daikon radish, the giant root that aids every meal you eat. In Japanese cooking, daikon is everywhere, grated beside rich, oily foods, simmered in stews, pickled into crunchy accompaniments. This ubiquity is not about flavor alone. Daikon contains active digestive enzymes, diastase, amylase, and esterase, that directly support the breakdown of starches, fats, and proteins in the digestive tract while they are still active in the raw state. The traditional Japanese practice of placing grated raw daikon beside rich or fried foods is one of the most brilliantly intuitive examples of food pairing as medicine in any culture. The heavy food and its enzymatic counterbalance arrive together. Daikon greens, trimmed and discarded by Western grocers before the root reaches the shelf, are edible, nutritious, and routinely eaten in traditional Japanese cooking. Nothing wasted. Everything counted. The humble root that quietly supported digestion across 1,000 years of Japanese cuisine. Food number 20, Hokkaido wild salmon, the most powerful antioxidant ever measured. Hokkaido is Japan's northernmost island. Cold, mountainous, rivers that fill with Pacific salmon every autumn. The indigenous Ainu people built their entire food culture around this fish. When the Japanese settled the island, they inherited that wisdom. For centuries, nobody could explain why the people of Hokkaido who ate this salmon regularly showed such extraordinary cognitive preservation and cardiovascular health into very advanced age. The omega-3 content, EPA and DHA, partially explained it. But something in the data was not fully accounted for. The flesh of wild Hokkaido salmon glows with a color that farmed salmon cannot replicate. And that color is the signal. Astaxanthin, a carotenoid produced by specific microalgae in cold Pacific waters. The salmon eat the algae. The astaxanthin concentrates in their flesh over years of feeding in those nutrient-rich waters. And when you eat the salmon, you receive what the supplement industry now sells as its most premium anti-aging product, extracted from those same microalgae at enormous cost. Astaxanthin is the most powerful antioxidant ever measured in scientific testing. Significantly more potent than vitamin E, significantly more potent than vitamin C. By some measurements, thousands of times more potent at neutralizing specific categories of free radical damage. But what makes astaxanthin genuinely exceptional, what separates it from almost every other antioxidant studied, is this. Most antioxidants cannot enter the brain directly. The brain's protective barrier filters them out. Astaxanthin passes through. It reaches neural tissue directly, providing oxidative protection to the cells that do your thinking, your remembering, your reasoning. The cells that research understands to be uniquely vulnerable to the free radical accumulation that drives cognitive decline. The Ainu people of Hokkaido did not know the word astaxanthin. They did not have a name for the blood-brain barrier. They simply knew, through generations of observation and lived experience, that this fish made them strong, kept their minds clear, and belonged at the center of a life well lived. The supplement industry discovered this and began extracting astaxanthin from microalgae to sell worldwide. The Japanese had been receiving it whole, from a fish, for centuries. This is the pattern that runs through every food on this list. The wisdom preceded the scientific explanation by 1,000 years. The science arrived to confirm what the culture already knew. 20 foods, one island nation, the highest average lifespan on Earth. Here is what every Western researcher who flew to Okinawa with their laboratory equipment eventually concluded. Japan's longevity was never a mystery. It was matcha in the morning, miso at breakfast, purple sweet potato at the center of daily calories, fermented foods at every table, seaweed folded into everyday cooking, small fish eaten whole, wild salmon carrying the most powerful antioxidant science has ever measured, brown rice soaked overnight, adzuki beans at celebrations, ginger over everything. These foods address the actual mechanisms of aging: oxidative stress, chronic inflammation, gut microbiome disruption, blood sugar instability, cardiovascular decline, cellular damage accumulation. Each one addressed, not dramatically, not instantly, but consistently, daily, over a lifetime. That is the Japanese approach. Not biohacking, not optimization protocols, not a 30-day reset. A relationship with food that is thousands of years old and has produced results that modern medicine is still trying to replicate in a laboratory. You do not have to move to Okinawa to borrow this wisdom. You can start with 1 bowl of miso soup, 1 cup of matcha, 1 serving of purple sweet potato, 1 small fish eaten whole. The blueprint was never lost. It was prepared fresh every morning in ordinary kitchens by ordinary people who simply never stopped. Smash the like button right now if this video gave you a completely different way of seeing food, not as restriction, not as medicine, but as a philosophy built over 1,000 years by people who simply never stopped eating the way their grandmothers taught them. Subscribe to Hidden Ancient Harvest, because every single week we go deeper into the ancient food wisdom that modern science is only now beginning to measure. The vault stays open as long as someone is still paying attention. Comment below right now. Which of these 20 Japanese superfoods are you starting with this week? Are you team matcha, team miso, team purple sweet potato, or did food number 20 change everything? I read every single comment. Your answer shapes what this channel builds next. God planted the answer in the earth before the sickness arrived. You have always had access to the blueprint. Now you know how to read it. I will see you in the next one. God bless you.